Episode 13, The Language of Self-Talk, From Inner Critic to Inner Coach. Welcome back to The Inner Architect. We are building upward, and today we address the vocal blueprint of your life. This podcast is brought to you by www.selfdevelopmentpsychology.com, your laboratory for psychological mastery. Think for a moment about the person you talk to more than anyone else in the world. It isn't your partner, your best friend, or your boss. It is yourself. Estimates suggest we have between 50,000 and 70,000 thoughts per day. Most of those thoughts are part of an ongoing internal monologue, an inner narrator that is constantly interpreting the world and, more importantly, interpreting you. In psychology, we've discovered that the way you speak to yourself is often more important than the events that happen to you. Your self-talk can be a heavy chain that keeps you anchored to your past, or it can be the wind in your sails. Today, we are going to learn the linguistics of the mind. We are going to learn how to fire the inner critic and hire an inner coach. Part 1. The biology of belief. Words are spells. Why does self-talk matter so much? Because your brain is a literalist. When you say, "I am a disaster," your brain doesn't see it as a metaphor. It sees it as a command. As we explore at www.selfdevelopmentpsychology.com, your thoughts create your emotions, and your emotions drive your actions. If your self-talk is, "This is too hard, I'm going to fail," your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol narrows your focus and impairs your creative thinking. You actually become less capable of solving the problem because of the words you chose. However, if you shift that talk to, "This is a difficult challenge, but I have the tools to handle it," your brain releases dopamine and norepinephrine. These chemicals increase alertness and problem-solving capacity. You are literally using language to change your neurochemistry. Part 2. Identifying the 3 toxic narrators. To understand our internal dialogue over 45 minutes, we must identify the specific characters that inhabit our minds. Most of us have one of these 3 toxic narrators. The Generalizer. This narrator takes one mistake and turns it into a permanent trait. "I missed the deadline" becomes, "I am always late and I am a failure." They use words like always, never, and everyone. The Catastrophizer. This narrator is a master of the what if. What if I lose my job? What if I can't pay the rent? What if I end up on the street? They jump from a minor setback to the worst case scenario in seconds. The Personalizer. This narrator takes everything personally. If a friend doesn't text back, they think, "They must be mad at me. I must have done something wrong." They assume the world's negative events are a reflection of their own lack of worth. At www.selfdevelopmentpsychology.com, we teach you to watch the thinker. The moment you hear one of these voices, you must label it. Oh, there's the generalizer again. Labeling creates the distance necessary for change. Part 3. The power of third-person self-talk. One of the most fascinating breakthroughs in recent psychology is the power of distanced self-talk. Research by Dr. Ethan Kross shows that when we talk to ourselves using our own name or the pronoun he, she, or you instead of I, our emotional regulation improves significantly. Why? Because it's much easier to give advice to a friend than to ourselves. When you say, "Your name, you can handle this," you are stepping into the role of the architect. You are observing the problem from a distance, which lowers the emotional heat and allows your logical prefrontal cortex to lead. Reflection pause. Think of a struggle you are currently facing. Now, imagine you're talking to someone you deeply love who is facing that exact same struggle. What would you say to them? Notice the tone of your voice. Notice the compassion. Why is it so much easier to be kind to them than to yourself? Part 4. The linguistic shift. Replacing should with could. As an inner architect, you must audit your vocabulary. Certain words are psychological shackles. The word should is one of the most toxic. I should be further along. I should be working harder. Should implies shame. It implies you're failing an invisible standard. At www.selfdevelopmentpsychology.com, we practice cognitive reframing. Replace I should with I could or I choose to. Replace I have to with I get to. Replace this is a problem with this is an interesting data point. This isn't toxic positivity, it's linguistic precision. It's choosing words that describe reality without adding a layer of unnecessary suffering. Part 5. Building your inner coaching script. How do we make this permanent? You need a script. Just like we build a deep work ritual in episode 12, you need a self-talk ritual. Catch the thought. Notice the inner critic speaking. Challenge the thought. Is this 100% true? Is there another way to look at this? Change the thought. Use your inner coach voice. Use your name. Focus on the process, not the verdict. We have a self-talk audit sheet available at www.selfdevelopmentpsychology.com. I encourage you to use it for 7 days. Write down the meanest things you say to yourself, and then write down what an inner architect would say instead. Closing thoughts. The walls of your life are built out of the words you speak in the silence of your own mind. If you want a masterpiece of a life, you must stop being your own worst critic and start being your own most trusted advisor. Thank you for joining me for episode 13. In episode 14, we're going to use our new inner coach to tackle one of the hardest obstacles in personal growth, overcoming procrastination. We'll learn why it's not about time management, but about emotion management. This has been a production for www.selfdevelopmentpsychology.com. Until next time, watch your words and keep building.